Hey everybody, welcome into Watch Me Wednesday, episode number 58. We're getting close there to episode 60, which is pretty amazing to me actually. Welcome in. I hope you all had a fabulous Thanksgiving last week. I did. I had a wonderful time. My daughter and her boyfriend flew in from California, so it was really nice seeing them. And yes, I hosted Thanksgiving, had a lot of food. We're just finishing up the leftovers, but it was great. It was really, really fun. I hope you all had a wonderful time as well. So today is a big day because I decided to go ahead and announce the new Quilt Along today. So hit that share button because there might be some people who want to join in on the Quilt Along and want to know the details. I actually decided it because it kind of creeped up on me really fast, even though last week was Thanksgiving. And then I looked at this week and I'm like, oh my goodness, December is around the corner here. I really need to get things started for the Quilt Along because you guys need to be prepped. So the first thing I want to tell you, after you hit that share button, hit the share button, first thing I want to tell you is the Quilt Along will officially begin on January 2 because I thought long and hard about this and I thought, well, if we start the Quilt Along in December, it's kind of hard for a lot of us, partly because we have a lot of we have the holidays all coming up. I have birthdays and holidays coming up in December. And so it's a little difficult, and I know we're all engaged in seeing a lot of family, and doing a Quilt Along might be a little difficult. That's why I decided to start the Quilt Along on January 2nd. But that gives you a whole month to get your prep work, okay? And the prep work's going to be super simple. I did a PDF, and I am going to post the PDF for you to download in the Quilt Along group that I have. For those of you who are not familiar with the Quilt Along group, it's Quilt Alongs with Canton Village Quiltworks, and it's on Facebook. I will post the link above me when I am done, so that if you are not in the group, you just have to go to the group, request to join, and I will add you in the group. The group is where you, as a quilter, will share fabrics you're choosing, where you are at in the Quilt Along as far as what it's going to look like, your quilt's going to look like. If you have questions, you post them there because other people are going to want to see and may have actually the same questions. So it's a great place to get, it's a great sounding board. So if you want advice from other quilters, you know, you're not quite sure about this fabric, if it's going to fit or complement or whatever, it's a great way to sound out or hear if your choices are good, or you know, if you're just not that confident and you want to ask those questions, it's a great place to put it. So I will put the link to the Quilt Alongs group above me. So that's one thing. So we've got the date. It's going to start January 2nd. We've got the Quilt Along group. We've got the PDF that's going to be in the Quilt Along group. Hi everybody, welcome on in. And there's you guys who are going to be joining in on the Quilt Along. So I suppose you want to know what the quilt is, okay? Hit that share button if you haven't done it, because the more the merrier in the Quilt Along. I can't wait for you all to join in. I am going to tell you, before I tell you the actual pattern that we're going to be doing, it is one of my patterns, and it is in Quiltster. And for those of you who are not familiar with Quiltster, you're going to want to be familiar because this pattern is in Quiltster, Quiltster, and I will put the link above me when I'm done. It is not a design program, but it is kind of a coloring program. So it has lots of fabric in it from various fabric manufacturers, including my fabric lines as well. And you can go into Quiltster, pull up this pattern that I'm going to tell you is for the Quilt Along, and you can drop in different fabrics and you can see what your quilt is going to look like before it. And it's kind of, you ever see those before after photos? Once you have it, you can edit it it doesn't take long, so you can go back and edit it if you don't like something. You can drop a different fabric, and they have all kinds of fabrics in there from all manufacturers, and you can upload your stash fabric, by the way, and it will spit out exactly how much yardage you need before you actually go out and buy any, or if you want to see if you have enough of your own fabric, you just take a picture of your fabric that you want to put in there, and it's going to tell you exactly how much you need of that, and if you don't have enough, then you swap it out for something else. But the before and after picture, so you can take a screenshot of the quilt that you mocked up in Quiltster, and then when you're done with the actual quilt, put them next to one another, and boy, they look exactly alike. It's amazing. I do a lot of my quilts that way so I can see what it's going to look like. So the pattern that we're doing for the Quilt Along is in Quiltster. So yes, you have a whole month to play with the quilt in Quiltster and various fabric options. You can save them, you can share them to the group, and people can see what your quilt's going to look like. It would be awesome to see. We had several people do that last time, save it to the group and show it and say, gee, what do you think of this colorway? What do you think of this colorway? And you actually haven't sewn a stitch yet, but it's a great way to get the idea of how your quilt is going to look. Okay, so we've got a few things out of the way. The date, it's going to begin January 2nd. We've got the PDF that I'm going to upload to the Quilt Along with Canton Village QuiltWorks group that you'll be able to snag once you're in the group. If you're already there, you'll be able to snag it shortly after the video is posted. We've got the Quiltster, which the pattern is in Quiltster. You can go play with that. Once I'm done, you have a whole month. I love the love coming across the screen. We've also got you hitting that share button because remember, the more the merrier in the Quilt Along. Okay, drum roll. The new Quilt Along is actually one that you all voted for, and it tied for last time with the Diamonds in the Rough. We are going to be doing the Island Breeze pattern. It's one of my most popular patterns out there, and it's a fun one to do. It's a little more challenging, not much, than the Diamonds in the Rough, but it gives spectacular results. And I have 3 quilts back here. Oh, good, I'm seeing lots of love. Awesome. I've got 3 quilts back here that I'm going to show you of what Island Breeze can look like. And the one that I'm going to be demoing on during the Quilt Along is a K-Facet one that I did. And I'll probably be mocking this up in Quiltster too and sharing it on the Quilt Alongs page so you can see different variations as well. Some things that I might like that may give you some ideas on what to do. And I will be putting the link to the pattern above me so that you all can go ahead and get it ready. And that's partly in your PDF download that you're going to get in the group for your prep work, okay? And there's a month of prep work, and there's a month to do your prep work, but the prep work is super, super simple. Get the pattern, play in Quiltster, get your fabric. That's all you got to do for the month of December. Super duper easy, right? Okay, so are you guys ready to see these quilts? I know that some of you have seen them before. Oh, you're still wishing for air traffic control, Olive. It's on my website. You can purchase the pattern. It is there. So I can send you the link, or you could just go straight to my website and you can purchase the pattern. Anyway, okay, so let me show you some of the quilts. So this was the original. Now they're really big, so I'm not going to be able to hold them all up, but you get a good idea. So this is the original quilt that's on the cover of the pattern, okay? This is done in all batiks from Island Batik. Okay, so you can see how I did it. I did it in blues and pinks and the green sash, and really pretty, and it's been probably one of the most popular colorways. Then we went ahead and we did it in my Fresh Pickins fabric line, right? So it looks very different. And I mocked this up in Quiltster, by the way, so we could see what it would look like. So here is this version, the Fresh Pickins version. Totally different look, but the same pattern, okay? Then I had taught this pattern on a cruise with Stitch in Heaven, and they kitted it up with batiks that they had. They wanted it to look similar to the pattern on the cover, so they grabbed their batiks from their store and they kitted it up for the students, and this is their version. So it's, you know, slightly darker blue, still varied pinks, and a darker green. So it's a little subtle difference in the look. So, but I also have something else to show you too. So I just recently taught this class at the Viking Husqvarna dealer convention in Las Vegas, in New Orleans. And we did something special. So we did a pillow, just one block. So if you're not inclined to make a full quilt, you can do just one block and make some pillows. Now, lots of ways you can dress up the pillow, obviously. You can put some really cool piping here. Barbara, so is there a teaching class? That's what I'm announcing. We're doing a quilt along for this particular quilt. So you can join in on the Quilt Along, and it's beginning January 2nd. You just have to join the Quilt Alongs group, which I'm going to put the link above me when I'm done. So you are going to learn how to make this quilt if you join the Quilt Along. The only thing is you'll need to get the pattern and your fabrics beforehand. So, but once you're done, no, it is not paper piece, Christine. It is not. It is traditional piece, and I'm going to show you during the Quilt Along. You're going to get lots of tips and techniques on how to get this together perfectly. It's really super simple, and you're going to love it, okay? Just a few little things if you decide you don't want to do the whole quilt. You know, you could do the pillow, and in the corner squares you could do some nice machine embroidery if you wanted to kind of zhuzh it up a little bit. But we're going to be talking about a lot of that stuff during the Quilt Along. So, just before this, by the way, my quilt inspector #1, he was sitting on the pillow. He was giving it his seal of approval, because you know how our quilt inspectors want to do that. And I also wanted to show you and remind you, if you haven't seen yet, I launched this book at Quilt Market. It's my quilt inspector's book. And see how they're sitting there on the quilts? Quilt inspector #1 was sitting on this pillow just before I started my broadcast. You too can have this book. And it's a great gift-giving book if you're so inclined to give it to a quilter at Christmas, for Christmas or for their birthdays. But it's a photo book of quilt inspectors, fabric, and quilts. And it's really, really cute. It is available on my website, and I will put the link above me too. So anyway, that's the huge announcement. I will recap it above me once I post the video, as soon as I am done here talking to you. So let's just do a quick recap again. Quilt Along starts January 2nd. You have a whole month to get the pattern, your fabric, play in Quiltster, get your friends to join in, join the Quilt Along group on Facebook, which I will put the link for. This is the pattern if you're just joining us now, and I showed a couple quilts to wet your whistle a little bit. So I can't wait for the Quilt Along to start, and I will be talking about it over the next coming weeks on the Watch Me Wednesdays, so that I can remind you about it and see where you guys are at. If you already have the pattern and you want to start posting in the Quilt Alongs group the fabrics you're choosing or your Quiltster pictures that you're mocking up, that would be awesome. It will get everybody inspired to see what kind of colorways they want to do. It's super duper, it's going to be super duper fun. I really, really enjoy teaching this class, and I think you're going to enjoy making this quilt. So I hope you all join in. I hope you share, and your friends will join in as well. I can't wait to see what it brings and what choices you all make with your fabrics. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you have any questions, certainly ask me, and you can also ask in the Quilt Alongs group. I will be looking in the group every day when there's something posted and commenting as well. I'm sure other people will want to comment. And anyway, that's all I got for you today. I think it's pretty big, but I will see you next week. Share the video. Let's get more people to join in, and I'll see you later. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.